Tina Echeverry, Berkeley Rotary, and I'm here because I want to know what logo am I supposed to use?
Rotary International is very sensitive about that.
That one.
Excellent. Would you like to?
Cynthia Garcia, Fairfield Sassoon Rotary Club. Also Assistant Governor for Solano West, which is the western part of Solano, and transitioning to be social media chair for the district in this upcoming year with Suzanne Bragdon, working with Chuck Yeager.
Hey, my name's Chuck Yeager. My name's Chuck Yeager. I might have oversold Suzanne, telling her I was a digital marketing genius, and she invited me to join the board. At any rate, my background is marketing, consumer packaged goods marketing, which is stuff that's sold in retail stores and markets. It might be Tide or, dog food or wild bird food or anything. So always selling through other people, but ended up running digital marketing for a big company for a couple of years before they found out, other people could do better. Those are the people I hired and tried to tell them. They were all about 27. So let's start off by talking about, what the whole point of digital marketing is, and actually all marketing. Basically it really revolves around a consumer journey. And so, think about, the people that you're going to be talking to as, your either current or future consumers. And that's one thing you have to keep in mind for our mission. We're talking to two audiences, right? We have to reinforce to our own members who we are, what we stand for, how much fun we're having, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to always be selling ourselves. But at the same time, we're also reaching out for new members. And so we have two different audiences whose needs we need to meet. We put up a new website, and it was meant to be externally focused, but as we did it, I realized more and more that it's just as important for our internal members as it is for future members, because we just need to be constantly reaching out and communicating. And so basically what we're trying to do with digital marketing, and really any marketing, is we're trying to build awareness and drive traffic to our websites and all our other assets to get people to become more aware of what Rotary is and what the value is, and you guys know the whole story. But the first thing is awareness. The second thing is discovery, and that's where once you've got them, then they're now looking around saying, "Gee, is this something I'm interested in?" And so it's engagement. You're trying to engage with them. You're trying to sell them. You're trying to show them, what you've got. The next part is consideration. Once you've got that far, now they're saying, "Gee, this might be something I'd be interested in." So at that point, you want to generate inquiries. You want to capture them, right? The joke, my old joke is in broadcasting, in TV and radio, it all just goes out, right? But in digital, it's interactive. It goes both ways. And so the idea is if all you're doing is broadcasting, but you're not capturing, right, then you're missing the big opportunity of what digital is, because at this point you want to have their email, you want to be sending them a newsletter, you want them entering contests on your website, whatever it is, right? You want to engage with them and capture information, so now you can begin to communicate with them directly. And then the last part is conversion, and that's convince the consumer to purchase, or in our case, join. I would say Rotary, it all comes down to donate, volunteer, partner, or join. Those are the things we're trying to get in one way or the other, whether you're after all four or 1, 2, or 3, that's what we're trying to get people to do. And so for all those people out there that you're reaching out to, you're trying to take them down this tunnel. And so you have a lot of tools to do that. We passed out this big little piece of paper. This is my attempt in the business world, translated to now, to try and simplify what digital marketing is, what the elements are, and what it takes to succeed in each area. And so what I found is that the whole thing is so confusing, and people that are involved in digital marketing tend to make it even more confusing. But really, my analysis of the situation, and asking a lot of 26-year-olds, is that there's 8 things. There's 8 things, and there's about 3 to 4 steps to gain proficiency in each one of them. And so if you look at this, what you'll see on the first one, the first thing is, a responsive website. And then what I've done is laid out what the basics are. So the first thing you have to do is get, a good usable website, have a couple articles, update it on a regular basis, and integrate it with social media, and so forth. So basically, you just kind of walk up and you can see from nothing, from crawling, what does it take to run. There's also fly, but we'll stick with run for the moment. And so basically, if you look at this, what you would do, and what we plan on doing, is you would decide what of these things do you want to do, what matches your club interests and needs, and what are you going to concentrate on. So the first thing is, of course, everybody wants to have a website. Then the next part, after you have a website, and it's it's all pretty and everything, the next part of it is you got to have people be able to find you. So you have to be findable, and what that means is maximizing free traffic. So just having a website doesn't mean anybody's going to come. And so there's a couple of things you do with that. The first thing is search engine optimization. That's that Google Analytics thing. Basically, what you're trying to accomplish is you're trying to set up your website, and you're trying to put words and phrases and titles in your site that lends itself to Google search, so that you show up high on the list, so if people are looking around for various things that you're trying to communicate to people, they're going to be able to come to you. There's a lot of other things that you can do, and we can get into that at some point, but there's a series of steps that you can sort of see, and that all leads to how to participate. So what you're trying to do now is you're trying to have calls for action, to donate, to volunteer, to partner. All of our sites, or a lot of them, says donate here, join here, sign up for the newsletter, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, what is it you want them to do, and then how do you set it up so you get them to do it? And the main way is you get them to participate in high-value tasks. A high-value task is anything that they do on the website that shows engagement. And so sign up for our newsletter, right? That's an easy one. Now you have their email, and you can communicate to them, and you can even reach out to them directly. Hey, I saw you came to our website, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, you've got to tell them what you want them to do, and then you've got to capture them at that point. They can come back a few times, but eventually you want to capture them so that you can begin to communicate with them. And then content is king these days. Everything revolves around content. Whether any kind of digital marketing involves content, articles, updates, funny things, et cetera, et cetera. Content really is king. It drives engagement. It leads to good search engine optimization, because if you have good articles and so forth, you'll get traffic, and then it'll show up high on the search. I once launched a website for my employer, and what I found was, even though we were number 2 in the industry, after we were up, we were not on the first page of Google search, not on the second, but after the new website had been up for a couple of months, we all of a sudden showed up as number 3. The interesting thing was, we were showing up as number 3 because of content, not because they were searching for our seed. They were searching for how to plant a lawn, how to make sure, how to fill in patches. And so our articles were so good that they were driving, engagement, and so we showed up high on search just based on content. The next part is email marketing. Email marketing starts out being, a newsletter. In our club, we have an internal newsletter, but we also have a quarterly community newsletter that we publish that's totally outwardly facing, trying to gain awareness and support in the community. And so email marketing can take all kinds of different approaches. Obviously, it's content. It's also making offers, contests, and really the goal is to drive them to your site so you can capture their name, start emailing them, and hopefully pull them in to whatever your goal is with them. And then that brings us to, well, we'll skip social for a moment because that's going to be the biggest part of our presentation here. And that's analytics. You don't know where you are until you can capture the analytics on it. You can see how much traffic you're getting on your site, analytics on social media, how many people are engaging with your posts, et cetera, et cetera. So really, analytics tells you how successful you're being, and you can adjust what you're doing based on the analytics. So what we're doing in the district is we're applying this to the district. So we're going through everything in the district and trying to restructure it around this and do the best possible job against each of these areas. And then we're going to have a club outreach run by a couple nice people that are in this room. A nice club outreach. And so basically each club that wants help or is looking for assistance and input, this is where it's going to start. What we want to do is go through each of these areas, understand where the club is and where the club wants to go, and then we'll bring whatever resources are necessary. Obviously, we're not going to build 70 websites, but we'll bring whatever resources are necessary to help you get to whatever you're trying to achieve in these areas. And we'll have a couple of people specifically assigned to the AGs, so that you'll have access, to an organized assistance program from us as we understand your needs. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Cynthia.
So basically what we're asking you to do is kind of follow along with the district. So we're trying to become more strategic in our use of digital marketing to be more effective. And we're asking you to do the same. So we're asking you to look at creating a digital strategy instead of just continuing to do what you've done in the past. So at the district, we have a draft social media plan, which I'm happy to share with you guys. It hasn't been blessed yet, so it says draft all over it. But happy to share that with you so you can get an idea of what a plan could look like. It doesn't have to be as beefy as the one that we're working on. And to do things like determine your target audience. Who are you talking to? Do you want to talk to young professionals? Are you talking to your current members? Are you trying to reach out to past members? Are you trying to talk to your partners or beneficiaries? Think about who you're talking to, because that's going to drive where you go to talk to them. So are you going to use the community e-newsletter? Are you going to use social media? Are you putting all your eggs in the website? Create goals. A lot of these sites come with their own analytics. So if you have a Facebook page for your site, you might already be getting emails from Facebook saying, hey, this is what's going on. If someone else is managing it, you could ask them to produce those demographics for you. It tells you, where they came from, gender, all kinds of stuff, the amount of engagement, how that comes. And then once you have your goals, your target selected, then you start planning your content, videos, posts, photos, events, whatever it is, stories. And then once you start posting with this more strategic mindset, then you can analyze your results to see if you actually moved the dial. One of the things, I know we talked about branding, and it's critical that you align with the Rotary parent brand. So there's Brand Center, which was just reorganized, and I don't like the way they did it. I shouldn't say that, but it's true. There's certain items on there that I thought were really helpful that I can't find anymore. And so I actually sent something to Rotary about that. But so Rotary has brand standards. One of the things we got you is the identity at a glance. But there's also a big fat identity handbook that I had luckily already downloaded. It's a PDF giant thing which speaks in very detailed elements about the Rotary brand. So it has things in it like our values: fellowship, global understanding, ethics and integrity, diversity, vocational experience, service and leadership. But it also talks about our brand voice. You know, you might have someone posting for you who is the funniest guy in your club, and that's why you picked him. And he is like just witty and irreverent, and then they get to your club and they're like, this is a really formal, serious club. You know, so that's voice, you know, that funny voice. Well, the Rotary voice, there's an official Rotary voice. We are smart, compassionate, persevering, and inspiring. And I want you to keep that in mind when you post, because your tone should reflect this. And actually, I'm going to pass this out. This is a sign-in sheet. It's a giant PDF that tells you what colors, what fonts, how to use the logo, what's the appropriate logo,
It's like 30 pages long.
how to take pictures. That's important, because if you have a fabulous project and you take a bunch of pictures where you're all lined up like this, or maybe holding a big check, they don't want it. They actually tell you, this is how you should take your pictures. You should have at least 2 people. You should be in action, because we are people of action. So they tell you all this stuff to help you be more successful, and then now I can't find it in Brand Center, but I have it. And so I will send it to you, but you have to put a check next to your name, because I don't want to spam people, okay? But our essence, they say, is this: why be a part of Rotary? Join leaders, exchange ideas, and take action. These things should be reflected in everything you put out, in digital or heck, paper. You know, whenever you communicate out, who are we? We're leaders. So you need to let folks know, join leaders. We have big ideas. We have big plans. So we exchange ideas, but more than that, we take action and we change the world. We are a transformative organization, and when you communicate out, people need to learn this about us. So there are a multitude of social media platforms. This is a small list. So it depends on who you're talking to, what you're going to use. Facebook is the big guy in the room. And there's a lot of people who use Facebook, and it has the most users. So it's a good place to be. But if you want to target younger people, Instagram might be a place where you want to be. That is picture and video focused. YouTube is also like a huge search engine. So many people use YouTube. In fact, I was thinking about getting rid of my cable because I just watch YouTube, you know? And so that's a great untapped platform for Rotarians to consider. If you're not doing video yet, you should, because that's where the world is moving. LinkedIn, if you really want to focus on a professional, business-related audience, you're looking for business professionals to join your club. And TikTok. Of all the social media platforms, TikTok is like the one where after people use that platform, they're happier. A lot of people use Facebook, and when they get off of Facebook, they're angry, they're depressed. It's true. It has been proven statistically that it is true. TikTok, their mission is to bring joy, kind of like Marie Kondo, right? And so people who are on TikTok feel better. And so we are encouraging you guys to do short form videos, whether you do TikTok, Instagram or Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, but get into using video, because that's just the way the world goes, and that's how social media platforms actually reward people, is you will get better viewers, numbers, if you use videos or pictures. Yeah, Rotary expects clubs to do their own marketing. Now that we have Vicki Pulis coming in, she's got not Vicki Pulis, Jennifer Jones. She comes out of broadcast. she's got a different view of marketing. So hopefully, beyond what we have in the brand center, which is like video snippets that you could use for your club's use, it'd be great if we were able to get little spots that we could use, that we could brand with our own clubs or our own district, so that we could take advantage of that. And software is getting easier and easier for people to use to create their own videos. So that's another option. And if you don't have that skill set in your club, you can actually develop it in yourself. Or you can make sure that you recruit new members who might have that skill set. So we talked about potential target audiences before, but so think about who you want in your club or who you're going to talk to. Like as a district, we're not talking to the same people you guys are talking to, because it's not our mission to bring members to the district, right? So who are we talking to? We're talking to you guys. So we want to do stuff, provide information, maybe a little bit of entertainment for you to support your mission as Rotary clubs, as Rotarians. But hopefully our content will be good enough that potential club members, partners, beneficiaries, diverse peoples will actually visit the district site too. But think about who you want to entice. Okay, so we...
Cynthia, just real quick, as your friendly neighborhood district alumni chair, along with former Rotarians, interactors, Rotaractors, when you can try to stay in touch with the people, the young people that have gone to one of the camps that your club has sponsored, try to stay in touch with them because they've had a great introduction to Rotary. Try to keep them in touch with them. Those who receive scholarships, we hear about past Rotary ambassadorial scholars. These are folks who have had great introductions to Rotary. We just need to do a better job of converting them going forward into keeping them connected to Rotary.
Excellent point. In terms of what platform you want to be on and kind of what their hook is, if you want to do some writing, longer posts, Facebook is good for that. Pictures, videos. And I mentioned this before. Videos are king at this point. If you're not doing videos, you need to. So the top posts in Facebook are videos. So that's what the algorithm is going to advance. Photos are second, and then word posts third. But actually, oddly, the most popular, like the post that the algorithm loves the best, for some reason, those colorful backgrounds that Facebook creates? If you ask a single question, like tell me you're a Rotarian without telling me you're a Rotarian. For some reason, something like that, or I guess that wasn't a question, but if you ask a question on a colorful background, for some reason the algorithm loves that. So even doing something as brief as that on Facebook will get you more views. Instagram is about pictures and video. If you do blogs on your website, for example, or you might use the Blogger or some other thing, you could do a long form story. E-newsletters, that's where you do your articles, your photos, your videos. And again, YouTube. You guys, you got to go into YouTube. That's something that we're looking at the district to really get some traffic, because the beauty of YouTube is like half the traffic is what you generate amongst the people that know you. But YouTube does you the favor of forwarding like, hey, if you watch this kind of video, I suggest you watch this. So half the traffic from YouTube comes from YouTube itself suggesting your video to a person who likes something similar to what you guys are going to be posting about Rotary. So use the power of YouTube. It's like the world's biggest search engine. It might have surpassed Google. I mean, it is.
Well, Google owns it, so yeah.
Yeah, so wise buy from Google. Okay, so in terms, yes,
I noticed Twitter is not on there.
it could have been.
Oh, okay.
It's just, yeah, we'll add it for the next time.
Okay.
There's no reason for it not to be on there, and we're actually looking at Twitter for the district too. So, yeah, scared me. And so we were talking about types of posts. So hopefully you guys got this handout, which is a draft calendar for the types of posts we're looking to do. This is pretty much Facebook oriented. But like that first section, finish this sentence, that's that colorful background with a question kind of thing that gets a lot of traffic on Facebook. So I joined Rotary because ... and then have people respond in the comments. Or the question, like if for the district, this is written for the district, represent, what club are you in? And then we're hoping that people will say, proud member of Lumber into Sunrise. Or you put pictures and say, caption this. Some of you might have already seen these kinds of posts. We want to do Rotary International Theme Months because, again, we're tying back into who we are, our mission, and the things that matter to Rotarians. So this is just an idea for you guys to look at, get inspiration from the type of posts. We're going to repost things from you. So we're going to look at what the clubs are doing. That's why it's important for us to know in those sign-ins if you have Facebook, because we're going to look at what you're doing and we're going to share it at the district level. So people can be inspired by your projects, your fundraisers, maybe you're acknowledging new members with a new member profile, and we'll share that out. So we need you to post a lot, because one of the things we plan to do to save us on the labor of creating content is to steal yours. And we're also going to... We're highlighting your club. Thank you, Princess. We're highlighting you. But we're also going to do that from RI, the things that they post. And beyond that, like Kathy sent me something from World Immunization Week that I didn't even see that pop up. But she sent me to a link that I went to for World Immunization Week from Rotary, and all the graphics were already done. So Rotary is also a great asset when you're looking to post. Encouraging all of you guys to like each other's club pages and to visit each other and amplify each other's voices. So some of these ideas here are in here, but in a little bit more detail. So, whoopsie.
Oh, wait, other people photos. Cynthia, could you go back?
Oh, I could actually send you the slide deck.
Okay.
But you could take a picture anyways and post it on your social.
Will you be posting this on the district website?
We could. One of the things we're looking at.
We'll post something once we figure out what we're going to do with the district website. But yes, there'll be a whole section on this, and this and other stuff will be there for your use.
And when I send you the strategy, there's all this stuff in greater detail. This is not even all of it. I mean, you could even put up the Rotary wheel and, just say it was created in this year, or, there's all kinds of stuff you could do that's easy. The district is going to start to use something called Canva to create graphics. Canva has a scheduler. So we're going to use that. We're also looking at Hootsuite later, because we're going to have a variety of people who are going to be creating some of these graphics and creating these posts and videos. So it's more of a team approach, and if you have the bandwidth in your club, you might consider that too, to share the wealth. Yes.
Just real quickly, on behalf of past district governors, I just want to ask you to please make sure you include incoming district governor Suzanne Bragdon on your distribution list for your club newsletter. It really is incredibly helpful to have those, especially when you're getting ready to visit a club. But anytime you like to know what's going on, it's a great way. It's very helpful for the district governor to share that.
And also, when you do your posts, if you could hashtag the district too, that's Rotary 5160. So it's that #, hashtag 5160, so that it gets called to our attention.
It's not 5150.
Yeah, there actually is a District 5150.
They're kind of crazy.
Love it.
So just one comment. I had the opportunity, in a moment of weakness that our club had, to put together, to redo everything that are about our club. And our club spent all its time for the last 20 years saying, who are we, and what do we stand for, and why are we successful? And so we went through a whole process of little workshops in our meetings, and we defined who we were, what was important to us, what the key was. And it came down to connection, engagement, and making an impact, right? And so that's why people were there. And so we figured the best guidance of who we might get are who we already have. So we built the entire thing around the research we did in our own club. We redid the website, it's all connect, engage, make an impact. The newsletter, a community newsletter, and then of course we're on Facebook and a couple of and Instagram. Again, highlighting the things that we stand for and telling our story. And then we match that to our booths and everything else, so no matter where you go, it's the same message, right, to the community, whether it's, with a brochure, with a booth, with the website, with things they're getting on email marketing, whatever, it all reflects the same thing. So once you go through that process and decide who you are in the community and what your message is, then basically you build these, whatever pieces is appropriate for your community, and you take that message out on every single avenue you've got. And of course, don't forget print, and don't forget all the other traditional media, because that's all still out there too. It's not just digital.
And that really does the whole brand consideration. When we send you that book, it'll have a lot of that language already for you. And kind of the strategic plans for Rotary itself, all of that stuff is there for you. And it applies to all of our clubs. They did a lot of work, so they know each other themselves very well. If you don't have the capacity to do that, if you look to the identity book that I'm going to send you, you'll see a lot of that language there that you could co-opt. But when you put your plan into place, analytics are key. You have to know where you're starting from, create your goals, take your actions, and then look. So Facebook has a really nice back end. Okay, that came out kind of funny, but you can get great analytics. This is just one little piece about audience, and I'm a very graphical kind of person. If you just give me a table, I'm like, oh. But if you show it to me, in colors and bars and circles and pies and all that kind of stuff, I really appreciate that. So this was actually probably a quarter old, and it shows that we have 1,500 people who like our district page. It shows that the largest percentage of them are over 65 years old. So this is age. This is age. So this is 55 to 64. So you can see progressively that we're missing the boat down on this end, right? You can see the people of Reading really like to go into the district Facebook page. Followed by San Ramon. Is San Ramon in the house? Whoop whoop. Chico, Concord, Brentwood, Walnut Creek. So what we want to do as a district is slide the bar further this way, right? And part of that we're going to be doing, you guys got the handout on short form videos. So one of our initiatives this year is going to be having you guys give advice to young professionals. Because the stereotype, of course, of Rotarians is what? Old white men. But what do older folks have? Experience, wisdom, knowledge. So we're going to take that stereotype and turn it on its head. Because you have a lifetime of experience that you could lend, almost like in a mentor fashion, to a young professional, stuff that no one tells a person when they enter the workforce. Or, you know, that wisdom you tell your kid and your kid's like, whatever. You can tell a receptive audience out there of young people who are trying to establish themselves, and your bit of advice could change a person's life. And we want it done in short form video. Yes, TikTok, if you have a TikTok account. You could do it as a reel, so Facebook, Instagram. You could upload it if you have a YouTube channel to your channel. Short form videos are now, if you guys are YouTubers, you'll see this whole section now on short form videos. You can put it on your own personal page. You can put it on your club page. We'll put it on the district page. But we want you guys to tell your stories and give advice to the next group of leaders coming up. So that's the point of this. So we want to become valuable, useful, desirable, again, to younger folks. There's a reason they should be Rotarians, and it's access to experienced leaders. So this is what we're going to be working on at lunchtime. But I just wanted you to know we have this effort that we are trying to talk to younger people. And hopefully if we do this right, this might become, global and not just District 5160. Did he give you one of these? Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the hook. Thank you very much. So hopefully you'll see a lot more of us over the coming year. We're also looking for some help within the group, so if anybody's interested in all the stuff we talked about and like to become part of the team, we'd love to have you. Thank you very much.
And we do have some of our committee members in this room.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to join them and us in this initiative of being really strategic with social media and learn with us,
Yes.
please let me know whether it's digital or social.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where my phone is going for the next Well, of course,